Yesterday, I threw my wife, who couldn't speak because she had vocal cord surgery, into my desk. But she got mad and she made me write this. Hi, I'm a professor of cultural studies and women's studies, and this is a journal that some gone girl wrote in my handwriting. This is my morning intention from February 23rd, 2019. Here's what she made me say. It will take some time to sort out all that has happened in the past 3 days, only a glimpse of which I will address here. The means for doing so is to pick up what she was just telling me this afternoon about her experience of what things have been like dealing with me and my problems. Not just in the past few days, but over the past 3 years. The short of it is that I have not truly done the work that is necessary if I ever hope to really change. She isolated 3 areas. 1, she is unsafe to say anything to me without worrying that I will retaliate or at least respond negatively. You like my stash? I think it's coming in good. This was made clear by the fact that she was able to bring up some difficult, potentially volatile issues during the recent good spell before Wednesday. And no doubt to her surprise, I handled the conversation without retaliating. Can you believe it? Or getting defensive, or any of the many ways that I try to avoid my problems. See, you can tell she wrote this. I didn't write this. This all too rare scenario was replaced by the more familiar one where she dared to question something I said, the Thursday morning incident. That's what I am calling it. I mean, she is calling it. To which I blew up and got so enraged that I got physically violent with her. I have, over the years, rained all sorts of verbal abuse down on T, but never really laid hands on her. Never really. Not like today. I just bit her and pushed her and knocked her down, but I didn't lay any hands on her. But never really laid hands on her until Thursday, when I pushed her with such force that she flew to the ground and ended up with a serious bruise and cut on her thigh. The incident has shaken me to my core, obviously. I terrified her like never before, and terrified myself in the process. Who am I? What kind of monster have I become? Isn't it obvious that I have deep-seated problems that I'm not, underline, not really dealing with, not seriously, if at all? 2, but first let me correct number 1. I didn't just push her. I picked her up by her arms and threw her. She had bruises on her arms from my fingers. And she hit my desk. I threw her into my desk and she rolled off my desk and hit another table, and then she landed on the floor. And when she did, I told her, good, that's where she was supposed to be. That's what she deserved. Then I yelled at her for knocking off some of my papers on my desk. And I took pictures. 2. Can't believe we're only at 2. During those increasingly rare moments when we reconciled enough to be physically intimate, because that's what I demand for makeup sex, I ended up becoming hyper-focused on sex. Can you believe it? And just her body. In my incessant comments about her body and my fixation on sex, T essentially loses her humanity. I don't treat her like a human being, an actual human being, let alone the person I say I love and care about, but instead treat her like, as she put it last night repeatedly, a piece of meat. I objectify her in the way that seems frighteningly similar to the way I objectify women in general. She said last night that I seem to be driven by my libido these days, and she might be right. I tend to think with my dick. Don't all men? You know what I'm talking about. I think about being intimate with T a lot of the time, which at some level is not intimacy at all. She also said at times it's fun to be that playful in expressing our desire for each other, but without enough of the more meaningful parts of the relationship, the genuine care and love and devotion and emotional intimacy, then the erotic banter becomes one-dimensional. See, I'm a women's studies professor. I know my shit. We are not in a good enough space to withstand the degree to which I tell her how often I find her attractive or sexy or anything of the sort. Telling her how much I want her, like I did when we went to campus on Wednesday after I threw her in my desk, might be fine if we are okay. But of course, we're not okay because I threw her into my desk. Not by a long shot. So why am I so fixated on T's body and wanting to get it on all the time? It's because I'm a man, obviously. Why do I compliment her so often on her looks and then become stingy and telling her how much I love her or how much she means to me? Who am I here? Am I just a horny old man that treats his partner like anything but like a hot young wife, but little more than that? Let me repeat that for you in case you didn't catch it, and I'll slow down, okay? Who am I here? Because I don't even know. Something just takes over me. Am I just a horny old man? Am I just a horny old man who treats his partner like anything but a partner? Like a hot young wife? A hot young wife for a horny old man. Imagine that. It's what every man wants. And every man and every hot young girl. I'm single, sort of. Have I become so superficial that I am only interested in unending physical intimacy without bothering to offer much in the way of emotional intimacy? You see how I use my words? Obviously, I'm smart. And a women's studies professor. Is T really only a piece of meat to me? Can't be. Have I really sunk to this level of base drives only? I'm quoting Freud now. And that there is nothing else, no genuine feelings for her, no genuine care, no true love for her, really? You should see what I did to her when I got divorced from her. I loved her so hard. I sent her a Mother's Day flower bouquet that said, loving you from afar. Because you too toxic, gone girl. You too toxic. for a man, an old horny man like me. Am I really this sick? This sick? Can't be. Can't be. I can't believe I wrote more. She forced me to write more. Number 3. Finally, we're to number 3. Number 3, I treat T like a second-class citizen by denying or trying to deny, because she's feisty little bitch. I treat T like a second-class citizen by denying or trying to deny her experience and overall my abusive behavior. By my abusive behavior. That's how I treat. By my abusive behavior is how I make her a second-class citizen. This area is akin to number 2 in objectifying her and treating her like she isn't a full human being. But number 3 is beyond that specific area to cover almost everything. This runs a gamut of emotional abuse, not just by denying her experience, but also by diminishing her feelings at best, and at worst, telling her she shouldn't have those feelings at all, that they're wrong, that they're delusional. This approaches then the attempts at gaslighting, when I deliberately, knowingly lie to her about something she otherwise knows to be true, or I pretend to not have any idea what she's talking about, or I cynically challenge her reality by presenting just enough doubt as to serve to make her feel like she is the one going crazy. Because that's what a man does. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, that's what she's doing with this journal. How much longer do I maintain this facade that there's anything beneath the mask? She likes to make me sound like a sociopath. And what there is truly ugly. See, she cut me down and called me names all the time. In my own handwriting. My refusal to deal with my problems head on has gotten us into this wretched disaster of a relationship. And without confronting my problems and getting real with this, the end of it all will come sooner rather than later. The end. That's it. The end. Women's Studies, Professor. Peace.